The longest running rivalry in Conference USA comes to the Glass House. It is the 139th edition of 100 Miles of Hate as Western Kentucky, the top team in the conference, comes to town to take on their arch rival in Middle Tennessee. What is going on, everybody? Alongside Darren Park, I'm Jake Rose. You're watching Conference USA Hoops right here on ESPN+. Darren, it's been more than a month since we've seen a fully healthy Middle Tennessee roster, and today it is going to be all hands on deck as they try and slow down one of the best players in the conference in Charles Bassey.
Charles Bassey, the current Lute Olson National Player of the Week, the five-time and reigning Conference USA Player of the Week. He leads the nation in total rebounds, total blocks, and dunks. He's a force inside. The Blue Raiders need to slow Bassey down with Javonte Milner-Chris and DeAndre Dishman. I like Milner-Chris. He's active inside. Dishman's got the size and the strength to push Bassey outside of his comfort zone. At the end of the day, it's going to take an entire team effort tonight to contain Bassey and the Hilltoppers of Western Kentucky.
And just before we went live, we found out that Western Kentucky head coach Rick Stansbury will not be with the team this weekend. Taking precautionary measures due to COVID-19. He has tested negative 3 times this week, but was running a bit of a fever. So Western Kentucky taking some precautionary measures. He is not with the team. He is back home in Bowling Green watching his squad this weekend. Taking over for the weekend will be assistant coach Phil Cunningham.
Yeah, we certainly hope that Coach Stansbury is okay and completely understand the precautionary measures that need to be taken right now. But Coach Cunningham, very capable, has been with the head coach Rick Stansbury at Mississippi State and now at Western Kentucky. He's well versed in what's going on. I don't think it's going to be a huge difference today.
And we are underway here in Murfreesboro, the 139th matchup between these two rivals. A rivalry that dates all the way back since before World War I, 1914.
Interested to see how Middle Tennessee is going to start defending Bassey. You saw that last possession. Dishman was top side. They had help below. It's going to be a real interesting storyline tonight.
Middle Tennessee coming off getting swept on the road last weekend. Looking to pick up a home win here as there's another turnover on back-to-back possessions for Western Kentucky.
Yeah, 2 turnovers, first 2 possessions, but you understand what their identity is, what their game plan is. It's about getting number 23, Charles Bassey, the ball or a touch every time down the floor.
Western Kentucky coming off sweeping Marshall at home as DeAndre Dishman, the redshirt junior, is on the board first for either squad. Dishman playing well as of late, double figures in 2 of his last 3 ball games. And he's getting the start here tonight, along with Eli Lawrence, making his first career start in a Blue Raider uniform. There's Bassey on the block. Here comes the double team. And a rebound by Dishman.
Yeah, got away with that a little bit, Middle Tennessee did. When you watch Bassey, and I mean, you can't help but just marvel at his God-given talent, but he's got some definite tendencies, and one of them is left shoulder, right hand. He got the catch there in his sweet spot. He went right to the left shoulder. The double team was a little late in coming. Fortunately for Middle Tennessee, he just missed the shot, but they've got to come quicker. Got to try to push him off the block a little bit more if they're going to slow him down.
And Jalen Jordan, the redshirt junior from Middle Tennessee, over on the sideline getting that right hand looked at. And that was the reason for the whistle as Lawrence, wild shot on the drive, and commits the foul.
That's going to happen a lot. Bassey, again, leads the nation in blocked shots. So when you're Middle Tennessee, you can see they're going to go and try to attack the rim, but he's going to alter as many shots as he blocks tonight. As you see, just a little aggressive, Lawrence committing the foul right there.
Here's Carson Williams going to work. Up and under with a right hand, too strong off the glass. And here comes Middle in transition. 3 on the way is short from Javonte Milner-Chris. And another whistle
2 quick whistles to stop play so far. Not sure what that is. Again, not being courtside, we're up in the rafters again, so we don't get exactly what's going on, and we don't get the officials update, so we just kind of have to speculate up here.
Western Kentucky comes into this game with an 11-4 mark, 4-2 in conference, and tied for first place in the Eastern Division in Conference USA. Of course, the conference switching things up to a division setup in this COVID 2020-2021 season. As 5 on the shot clock, Western's got to put up a shot. Here's Anderson for 3. Thank.
Tough shot. Good contested by Middle Tennessee. Better shot by Anderson right there.
This is 8th made three-pointer on the season. Anderson, 33% three-point shooter. One of 3 Western Kentucky players returning on this roster that has more than 1,000 career points. As Davis turns it over and going the other way and getting fouled is Davion Mcknight.
I like Mcknight, just a freshman from Collins High School, Shelbyville, Kentucky. He's a lefty, really good in transition. You saw him get out there and was able to get to the rim and draw contact and get to the line to shoot 2.
Foul goes against Dontrell Schuler, who has not played for this Blue Raider squad since December 16th against Ole Miss. Finally back in the lineup. He's the leading scorer for this Middle Tennessee squad.
And it's great to see him back. He had such a great performance last year. Can we say last year? It was last year against Ole Miss when he was last on the court, but had a strong game. Obviously a huge part of what Middle wants to do offensively and defensively, so it's great to see him back on the floor.
Yeah, mentioned he's the leading scorer, but as he did today, coming off the bench for Middle Tennessee, is that 3 from Schuler is pure. Welcome back, Dontrell Schuler.
And just what Middle Tennessee needed, a 3 to go early. Get some confidence in shooting the ball from the outside. That's going to open up some driving lanes.
This is not a very good three-point shooting team in Middle Tennessee. In fact, they are the worst in Conference USA, shooting just 28% from behind the arc. However, Western Kentucky, one of the worst teams at defending the 3, and that's an offensive foul against Bassey.
Yep, Schuler again, the defensive presence. They're working so hard to get over the top of Bassey. That was a great baseline feed right there, but there's the help. You can see Schuler comes in, got his feet set, gave his body up for the team, took a charge.
Ishman will take a seat for Middle Tennessee, as Jace Johnson, who has also not been in the lineup for Middle Tennessee for quite some time, sees his first action in a while, and Anderson is fouled by Jace Johnson.
Yeah, not being on the floor in game time action. Jace just he just took his time going to meet the pass. And when he did that, he just opens up the passing lane for a team like Western Kentucky. They're so talented and they're so athletic. It was very, very easy for Anderson to just kind of step in the passing lane, get the steal, and go and finish at the other end. Got to go meet the pass, Jake. You got to meet the pass.
Johnson getting his first action since December 12th, since the Covenant game, as Anderson knocks down another pair of free throws. 5 early points for Josh Anderson, the senior from Baton Rouge, Louisiana. And this Western Kentucky squad has a lot of offensive firepower. They are the first place team in the conference. And there's the 3 on the way from Jace Johnson. Not a three-point shooter, but gets it to rattle home.
How about that? Schuler hits one, now Johnson hits one. They're going to get 3-point opportunities tonight. Western Kentucky doesn't really pressure the ball. They're a toes-to-3 team. They try to cut off driving lanes. They're going to give Middle all those outside shots tonight.
That was just the second attempt on the season from behind the arc for Jace Johnson. And that first 3 on the year gives Middle Tennessee a 1-point lead. 15:34 to go here in the first.
It's raining threes in the Borough.
An early 1-point lead for Middle Tennessee as they host Western Kentucky here in Murfreesboro. There's a look at Charles Bassey, the reigning Lute Olson National Player of the Week, and he went off last weekend against Marshall.
Yeah, he did. I mean, he's very deserving of these. Like, we talked about his talent. We talked that he's third in rebounds per game, first in total rebounds, first in blocks. But what I love so far, what Middle Tennessee has done, 0 for 1 from the field, no rebounds right now.
Yeah, missed most of last season with a tibial plateau fracture in his left leg against Arkansas. That game was back on December 7th.
And you saw him there pop for a shot there, go to a shot fake and drive. When I scouted Western, was surprised that he's got a perimeter game also. I mean, he's a really nice player.
Schuler on the drive, got the floater to drop.
Picking up where he left off last year against his brother in the Ole Miss Rebels. Great to see him back on the floor. There's no rust on Devontae Schuler so far.
Yeah, he was playing great before he was knocked out of the lineup. Had 4 straight double-figure games. 3 of those games were coming off the bench.
Yeah, Dontrell. I said Devontae. I meant Dontrell.
Count the bucket. No, wave it off. Nice drive by Tavion Hollingsworth, the senior from Lexington, Kentucky.
Yeah, we talk so much about Bassey. Hollingsworth's the first team Conference USA player that's returning. Western Kentucky is loaded, and he's a really nice compliment to Bassey. Real aggressive off the bounce. I like Hollingsworth a lot also.
Another whistle away from the ball.
Looks like they got Coleman Jones just bodying Bassey before the ball was thrown in. No problem with that whatsoever. Coach McDevitt's got to throw some bodies at Bassey tonight. So you're going to see him, everybody, we talked about it, everybody's at their disposal right now. So he'll keep throwing bodies in, fresh bodies to keep trying to wear Bassey down, Bassey averages 30 minutes a game. So if you can wear him down, get him fatigued, again, your chances of victory go up.
And the previous foul was against Dontrell Schuler as that 3 from Frampton rolls home. And he is the sharpshooter for this Western Kentucky squad. 41% from behind the arc. Yeah, second foul on Schuler. He is already out of the ball game after 5 quick points. That ball thrown away by Jared Coleman Jones. Saw his first action last weekend against Southern Miss. Was also out since the Ole Miss game back on December 16th. We mentioned in the open, this is the first week, for the first time in 41 days, that Middle Tennessee was able to practice with a full 14-man roster. And then during practice, Donovan Sims tweaked his leg a little bit, so he will be out today for Middle Tennessee.
But just to be able to go 5-on-5, how refreshing again for Middle Tennessee.
Sloppy offense here from Western here in the first few minutes. Frampton again from deep. This one is off and rebounded by Jace Johnson. Frampton has been on fire as of late. Last 10 games shooting above 50% from 3. 51% from behind the arc is Frampton. Transfer from Davidson. Now Millen, the lefty, is swiped on the drive. And ball goes back to Middle.
You'll see that about 3 or 4 times a game in transition. Bassey's so good at running Main Street, head on the rim, that they like to just throw it up to the rim and just let him elevate and just go up and get it. And again, leads the NCAAs in dunks. 37 dunks. 37 dunks on the year.
That is 37 more than you and I combined.
That's right.
Lawrence, quick trigger in the corner. This is in and out. Bassey got a hand on it, but it's rebounded by Kenny Cooper, the local kid from just down the street in Nashville.
And a friendly wave from Athletic Director Chris Massaro just now, visiting us up here on the mezzanine level.
Always good to see the AD. Bassey on the pass, can't finish at the rim. Fighting for his own rebound and taken away by Javonte Milner-Chris.
And Coach McDevitt implored the officials to try to get Bassey whistled for his second foul.
Fishman over Bassey, a little bit too strong on the hook. Rawls on the drive, kicks out to Anderson. Now Frampton again from deep. Money.
Got to defend Frampton. Just one little gap dribble right there, kicked it to him, and Middle late on the closeout right there.
Western Kentucky, not the best three-point shooting team in the conference. As a team, just shooting 32%. That's 10th best in Conference USA. But Frampton, one of the best three-point shooters in the conference, cannot leave him open.
Exactly, and Middle Tennessee still first in the conference in three-point defense. They've got to come up with a game plan to try to stop Frampton right now because he's got the hot hand and he's their sharpshooter.
Anderson driving, kick to Frampton again. Fouled on the shot by Jace Johnson. And that's going to be the second foul on Jace Johnson. And with 11:34 to go, Frampton. Ooh, baby, I love your J. Western on top by 3.
I see you.
Dontrell Schuler, his first game in more than a month, and a quick 5 points for the transfer from Lexington, Kentucky.
Yeah, so nice to see him back out on the floor. Offensively, definitely gave the Blue Raiders a spark. Defensively also, but a little foul trouble right now, and it's interesting to see what Coach McDevitt's going to do. Usually you've got your rules intact. 2 fouls in the first half, you sit till the second half. We don't see that right now. Looks like they're bringing Schuler back in. I like it. If you trust your player, if you've got a good relationship with him, go ahead, put him back out on the floor, give him a chance to defend without fouling. Hopefully they can go the rest of the half without him picking up foul number 3.
I said Dontrell Schuler was from Lexington, Kentucky. That's my mistake. Irmo, South Carolina. Same hometown as his teammate Jordan Davis. Two grew up playing 2K together, playing basketball in the driveways together, and now here they are playing ball together at Middle Tennessee as Frampton knocks down all 3.
Another reason to bring Schuler back. It's been almost 4 minutes since Middle's had a field goal, and that was from Dontrell Schuler.
8-0 run for Western Kentucky over the last 2:55. They now lead by 5. And a quick 9 points from Luke Frampton off the bench. Fishman going to work against Williams with a left hand. Can't get the kiss off the back of the rim.
I liked it, though. Got a paint touch, went to his back down dribble, got to his right shoulder. That's his go-to move. Just couldn't get it to fall.
And Rawls took one too many steps on the drive, and another turnover for Western Kentucky. That is their 7th here in the first half. Here's a look at Jordan Rawls from Chattanooga, part of the 2020 Conference USA All-Freshman team. 8 points a game a year ago. Had a career-high 20 against Alabama in that big win for Western Kentucky earlier in the year as Eli Lawrence knocks down a 3.
Great catch and shoot. We love lefties. We love when lefties can stroke it like that. Good answer for Middle Tennessee. They needed that shot.
Middle already with 3 long balls here in the first half. Mentioned they're the worst three-point shooting team in the conference.
Wants one. Yeah, he was wanting one.
Gonna get it and miss it, and then turn right back over to Western. Frampton again in the corner. And Middle finally able to clear. That's why they say never save it underneath your own bucket.
Yeah, or don't throw it right back to your opponent. Throw it off their knees.
Schuler from the wing. Rebounded by a couple of Hilltoppers.
Bassey getting a breather right now. Would love to see Middle try to go inside, keep establishing that paint presence, get an easy basket or two without Bassey patrolling the paint right now.
5 on the floor for Western. Osawe, Rawls, Frampton, Cooper, and Williams. That's Rawls in the lane with the right hand. His first bucket tonight.
Yeah, used the on-ball screen, came back, used it again. Tough to defend. Good shot.
Western on top by 4 as we are under the 10-minute mark here in the first half. Western trying to pick up their 5th win in conference, currently tied with Old Dominion for first place in the East as Eli Lawrence with back-to-back triples.
1 catch and shoot, 1 off the bounce. he's feeling good right now, and the three-point shooting keeping Middle Tennessee in this basketball game early.
7 made threes between these two squads, and that's a little surprising here in this first half, given the shooting numbers on the season for both of these teams, as the lefty Kenny Cooper will give it a shot.
Yeah, but like we said, Western's going to back off you. Western's going to give Middle all of the open looks that they want, and they're playing the percentages, but more so that's how they defend. They played Marshall the same way, and Marshall leads the conference in shooting three-point shots.
Dishman backing down Williams. Lowered his shoulder like a running back in the lane. Might have got away with a walk, but no call, and he gets it to drop. Second bucket tonight for Dishman. Redshirt junior from Lexington, Kentucky. Leading this Middle Tennessee squad in field goal percentage. Knocking down 44% of his shots. And it's a 1-point Blue Raider lead. Another three on the way. This time Rawls will knock it down. And now Western has a 2-point lead.
Western 44% from three so far, Middle 50%. We got ourselves a good shooting game right now.
Milner Chris lost his edge, comes up hobbling a little bit after that possession, and Rawls with a quick trigger, and that's too strong, but Carson Williams the offensive board, and he will go to the line for 2 after this break.
I like Carson Williams. Great job in there, patrolling the paint, physical player, went back up strong, gets to shoot a pair.
It's red.
Luke Frampton, the West Virginia sharpshooter, knocking down a couple of trays for Western Kentucky, and the Hilltoppers on top 20-18. Luke Frampton, the transfer from Davidson in 2019, knocked down 100 three-pointers. He's the first Davidson player to do that since, guess who? Steph Curry.
Is his name Curry?
Yes, yes.
I'd have got that one.
Yeah.
You gave me another second.
Well, I looked at you. You weren't looking back at me. I didn't know if you were playing it off or what.
Dramatic pause. Dramatic pause.
Carson Williams knocks down his first free throw for his first point tonight.
Western Kentucky already 8 free throws. It's an interesting stat, and it's something that Coach Stansbury believes in wholeheartedly. It's his complete philosophy on coaching, and I subscribe to it 100%. His goal is to make more free throws in a season than the opponent's attempt. And we're seeing that already tonight.
And this Western team is currently on pace to be the best free throw shooting team in Western Kentucky history. They shoot over 80% from the stripe. That is a coach's dream, as a foul away from the bucket goes against Rawls, his first.
Yeah, it's one thing to get to the line. It's the other to go ahead and convert at the line, but they do it at an exceptional clip. 247 made free throws coming into the game. Opponents only attempted 233.
Jordan Davis with a hard drive to the bucket. His first points on the night. Second leading scorer for Middle Tennessee, averaging just north of 10.5 per contest. And if they can get Davis and Dontrell Schuler going, Middle Tennessee's offense can finally catch up to their defense.
Yeah, and get going with plays like that to the rim. We just can't emphasize it enough how important it is for Middle. Even though they've hit some threes early, don't go away from who you are. Continue to attack the rim.
Hollingsworth will knock down a 3 at the buzzer. And the three-point onslaught continues for both teams. 5 of the 6 field goals made so far for Western Kentucky have been threes. And Western with a 5-point lead.
Yeah, and 11 of their 15 attempts.
Davis on the drive again, and Bassey says absolutely not. And Rawls can't finish at the other end. And Bassey misses the bunny. And then Middle turns it right back over. So it's been a bit of a sloppy game. It's been a shootout. Not exactly what we thought we were going to see. Didn't think we'd see a high-scoring ball game.
But typical in rivalry games.
Yes.
You're going to expect the unexpected. We can come in and prepare and say, well, this is what we're going to see down to a letter. but when it's a rivalry game, strange things happen.
Charles Bassey scoreless so far here in the first half for Western Kentucky. Had 24 points in the win on Saturday, as that jumper is well short. Bassey with the board, finally on the board.
Yeah, not much you could do there. I mean, Coleman Jones had him blocked out, but just the size and the strength, Bassey, the leaping ability just went right over the top of him, got the rebound and the putback to get on the board.
The 2 games last weekend against Marshall, he averaged 22.5 points, 14 rebounds a game with 7 total blocks, as that jumper from Coleman Jones will roll home.
Yeah, I liked that. He went right back at him. He faced him. He played slow, went to a jab step, and then elevated over him and got the shot to fall.
Coleman Jones, another Blue Raider. They're trying to work back into the rotation. His first action in more than a month was last weekend against Southern Miss. Had just 3 total points, but it's about more getting his legs back.
Yeah, I like him. The 6'10 sophomore, really good around the rim. He's long. Definitely can provide some help for the Blue Raiders.
Another new face on Nick McDevitt's squad this season. Transfer from Northwestern, one of 8 new faces on this Middle Tennessee squad, as McDevitt beside himself on the call.
Yeah, that's a tough call. Let's look at it. But this is Schuler's 3rd, and that's why he's upset. Did a good job, had his hands up, took the bump the first time, and just stayed with him. And credit Hollingsworth, he's crafty enough to know, hey, Middle's best player's got 2 fouls right now. I'm going to attack him. I'm going to go at him. I'm going to force the official to make a call. The official blew the whistle.
3rd foul against Schuler. That's the 8th team foul against Middle Tennessee. Just 2 fouls against the Hilltoppers, as get some maintenance action on the hardwood down there. And Davion Hollingsworth, the senior from Lexington, goes to the line. And he'll get one more. Hollingsworth making his 188th straight start for the Hilltoppers. That is the longest running streak going in NCAA basketball right now.
An interesting fact, also set the record now, has played more minutes at Western Kentucky than any other Hilltopper in history. And it's a storied history.
Knocks down the 2nd free throw. He passed that mark back in January, passing Courtney Lee, arguably the, dare I say, the greatest Hilltopper, at least in the last generation.
You dared.
I dared and I said it. He's a Hoosier, so I had to prop him up a little bit. Hollingsworth on the steal, going to lob it up to Bassey. Bassey goes crashing into the stanchion. And now Western will slow it down. Jumper from Anderson is off the front iron, and Bassey towering over everybody else and gets the deuce, and Nick McDevitt will take a 30-second timeout.
Yeah, Western starting to impose their will a little bit. They're getting out in transition. They're doing what they do, putting pressure on you in the interior defensively, and Bassey starting to feel, we're starting to see his presence, feeling him on the offensive rebounding and running the floor. Good timeout by Coach McDevitt. Got to regroup now, calm them down. They're still in this ball game, 4.5 minutes before halftime. Come down, get a good shot, get back in this thing.
Western on top, 31-22 with 4.5 to go here in the first half. In the 139th meeting between these two teams, Middle has actually won 13 of the last 17, but Western has gotten the better of Middle in the last couple of years. Well, Middle trying to get things back on par a little bit, but if you look historically, Western Kentucky has almost dominated this rivalry over the last, well, I don't know, 100 years.
Yeah, it's interesting with rivalry games, and it holds true across the country with so many others. You'll get a team that'll get on a big run, and they'll rip off some incredible 50-year stretch of 40-10 or something of that nature. And then the tide turns, and then the other team will come up and put a nice little run together. And that's definitely what's happened here over the last 20 years or so.
And I'm not sure people outside of Conference USA or Hilltopper fans may not understand just how prominent this Western Kentucky basketball program is historically. I mean, they've got as many 20-win seasons as the Dukes and the UCLAs and the Kentuckys of the world. I mean, was it 46 20-win seasons?
Yeah, as someone growing up west of the Mississippi, I had no idea. You don't, and even until you go into the arena. I remember the first time I went into the arena as an assistant coach at Louisiana Tech, was just blown away by the history and the banners and just the feeling and the crowds, and they're passionate about their basketball up there in Bowling Green. It's a real good basketball school, and they've got a great tradition and history, as do the Blue Raiders.
Yeah, I know folks on the Hill very excited about this Western Kentucky squad. They're off to their best start since the 06-07 season.
And not playing cupcakes, Jay.
No.
You know, have the 21st toughest schedule in the country, including a win over a team in the SEC right now that everybody's talking about, and that's Alabama.
That's right, yep. Played Northern Iowa to start the season, then Memphis, and then West Virginia, which they only lost by 6. And then they went to Louisville. And then, as you mentioned, they win on the road at Alabama. So this is
that's a big, I mean, that's a win that's going to pay dividends down the stretch, you know, in consideration for at-larges or NCAA tournament or all that sort of stuff. In this crazy year, you can't put enough stock in a win like that.
And this is probably a Western Kentucky team that is especially hungry after what happened last season when the Conference USA tournament was called off as Bassey fouled Dishman on the drive.
Loved it. Exactly what Coach McDevitt wanted coming out of the timeout. Got the ball inside, attacked the paint. There's Dishman going to his strong hand. He's a left-hand drive kid, putting the pressure on Bassey, going right at him, making the officials make a call. Now Bassey, their best player, goes to the bench with 2 fouls.
That'll move Carson Williams to the 5 spot, where he played all of last season after Bassey went out and really thrived, averaging 14 points per contest.
Go right back at him.
Dishman against Williams again.
Go right back at him. Go right back at him. I love it. Middle Tennessee, if they can keep that paint presence right now, that's exactly how you get back into this basketball game.
31-24 lead for Western Kentucky. Dishman now with 6 points for the Blue Raiders. Frampton corner 3. Short.
2-3 zone by the Blue Raiders right there. Switched it up a little bit. Got the stop. Now they get to get out in transition.
Lawrence is fouled on the drive, and with 3:23 to go, he'll be at the line for 2. DeAndre Dishman, the big man. A little bit of touch. Western on top. Eli Lawrence knocks down a couple of free throws, trims this lead to 6. Sorry for the technical difficulties there. 3:09 to go. Frampton another corner 3, and this one is pure.
Yeah, 2-3 zone again. You got to have corner coverage. They didn't bump up top, and nobody rotated out off the baseline there. And Frampton, their best three-point shooter, got a wide open look.
11 first half points for Frampton, who is averaging 7 per contest. But as we said earlier in the half, he's been on fire as of late. And so has Eli Lawrence.
And again, great. Middle Tennessee goes back in the paint. Western's adjustment was to send a man down to double Dishman on the dribble. Great job by Dishman making the pass out to Lawrence, and he answers with a 3. Really good offensive basketball right now.
Lawrence making the most of his first career start. 10 first half points and 3 threes of his own.
Give it to him. He wanted that one. Great shot in rhythm. Good offensive board by Middle Tennessee. Long shots equal long rebounds.
Middle shooting 50% from behind the arc, 5 of 10. Western is knocked down 6 of 14. Davis on the drive, hangs in the air, left hand, gets it to fall. 4-point game. Middle's knocked down 4 of their last 5 shots. As we are under 2 minutes to go, Hollingsworth in traffic, loses it, and Dishman comes up with it. Now Middle on the run. Anderson got a hand on it, and it'll stay with Middle Tennessee with 25 on the shot clock.
Yeah, nice little run by middle right now with Schuler on the bench.
.132 to go here in the first half. Middle trying to pick up their second conference win. Western looking for number 5 and looking for sole possession of first place. Good defense and a heads-up play by Carson Williams to get the steal and then to throw it off Dishman and take away a possession from middle.
I like Williams. Very comfortable down there defending in the post. Looks like a tight end, Jay.
Yeah. Mentioned taking on a different role this year with Bassey back in the lineup. And looking at his stats, you might think he's not playing as well as he did last year. But this year, he is, just like I said, taking on a different role.
Yeah, know who you are and what you are, and he still provides a valuable presence on the floor here for this Western Kentucky team.
Had a season-high 16 points in the last outing. As here comes Anderson, and couldn't get a handle on it. And Middle Tennessee catches a break with 47 seconds to go.
Yeah, when Dishman commits to the dribble, he's got to understand when they double, they're rotating to that top side. He's got to really look that off and maybe either throw it right back out on the strong side or find the weak side corner.
Jalen Jordan has just made his way back to the Middle Tennessee bench from the locker room, and his right hand is heavily taped. And he took some daps and high fives over there, but it was all with the left hand. So not sure if we're going to see Jalen Jordan for the rest of this one. Under 30 to go, Western on top, 36-30. 5 on the shot clock. Here's Davis for 3. That's short and rebounded by Hollingsworth. Shot clock is off for Western. Frampton finds Williams on the block, and he'll go to the line for 2 more, and a nice find from Luke Frampton.
Yeah, and a little contact with the official afterwards. Hope he's okay. Looks like he might have just got his whistle knocked out. He's giving Frampton a little fist bump.
Foul will go against Eli Lawrence, his second. We said this is a pretty fierce rivalry for everybody, officials included.
Do officials have rivalries?
Maybe with coaches. I can think of one official off the top of my head that might.
Yeah. I've got some rivalries with some officials for sure.
Williams rattles home the first. All 3 of his points tonight have come from the free throw line. The 53% free throw shooter on the season. The redshirt senior from Owenton, Kentucky. Transfer from Northern Kentucky. And he's perfect from the stripe here in the first half, and he extends the lead to 8. Under 10 now, Dishman against Williams. Going hard, and he's going to draw a foul against Carson Williams. That'll be his first, and Dishman.
Yeah, just the 5th foul, I think, just the 5th team foul for Western, so we'll still see Middle inbound it underneath. But good job attacking the rim right there. Coach McDevitt wanted it on the shot, but I think that's the right call. I think it was the first contact that they called.
4.6 to go. Elias King is checked in. He's going to put up a 3 from the wing. That's well short. And that'll do it for the first 20 minutes here in Murfreesboro. Western Kentucky on top 38-30. The 139th edition of 100 Miles of Hate. Halftime coming up from the Glass House.
I have a voice.
You have a voice.
We have a voice.
Our voice.
Whoa, Susan.
Oh, I'm looking for coupon codes.
Well, capital.
For 25 years, Conference USA student athletes have done things the only way. For 25 years, Conference USA student athletes have done things the only way.
Darren, where are you in there?
I gotta be somewhere, don't I? Maybe up, wait, probably down in the front row. Look at all those friendly faces there today. Dale Earnhardt. Who else do you see there?
A couple of dogs.
Yeah.
Our canine friends, a guy with a lampshade.
Chris Massaro, the athletic director. Nice to see him. He's here in person and he's got a cutout. That's what we need, Jake. Let's get a couple cutouts of us over there.
Have to talk to HR. 38-30, Western Kentucky on top of Middle Tennessee.
Man, can't wait to see all those smiling faces back here in the Glass House, hopefully very soon.
Right, we are in a relatively empty Glass House, a handful of fans here in the stands, just close family of both of the teams.
Yeah, some red made the trip down from Bowling Green.
Yep, about an hour south on 65, then cut on down to 24. Middle will have the first half possession. They trail by 8. Looking to pick up their second conference win after getting swept last weekend against Southern Miss and Western Kentucky.
Go right at them. Go right at them.
Looking to win their third straight conference game as Charles Bassey with a rejection on Dishman. Bassey, the leading shot blocker in the nation.
Yeah, and I love Dishman wanting to go at him right away. I thought he hesitated a bit. He should have just went strong right away, but Bassey showing why. He's the defending player, national player of the week for men's college basketball at both ends of the floor right there.
Had a quiet first half, just 4 points. Gets the first 2 here in the second half. And for a guy that had major surgery a little more than a year ago as Dontrell Schuer knocks down the fadeaway jumper, I have been very impressed with the mobility of Charles Bassey.
I'm telling you, you watch film from this season, he's not just a post player. He can handle it a little from the perimeter. He can shoot the 3 just enough that you have to respect it. And obviously he's a force down there, which is why you see Middle sending 2 players to him every time he puts the ball on the bounce.
10th turnover for Western as Davis able to score the left hand.
Yeah, great little rub screen at the high post by Dishman. Gave Jordan Davis the lane to the rim.
Starting guard for the Blue Raiders, Jalen Jordan, will be out the rest of this game. Dislocated a finger in the first half. They took him back to the Blue Raider locker room. Did get some stitches. We saw him walk out at the end of the first half with some pretty heavy tape on that right hand. So he is done, at least for today, as the jumper from Davion Mcknight is off the mark. And here comes Middle. Schuer for 3. Rebounded by Bassey.
Yeah, a rare transition opportunity for Middle there. Milner Chris down the middle of the floor. Good throw ahead, good kick out for 3. You said it, Jake. You said it at halftime. You know, could the 3-point shooting keep up for both teams?
3-second violation against Western Kentucky. So back-to-back turnovers for the Hilltoppers here in the second half, as Nick McDevitt looking to get his first win against the Blue Raiders' arch rival. Eli Lawrence, the leading scorer for Middle, turns it over here in his first career start. The sophomore out of Atlanta. One of 7 Atlanta area players on this Middle Tennessee squad.
Oh, what a pass.
Nice find from Bassey, and Carson Williams cutting to the rim wide open.
A great look, and Bassey, he's not on the floor to pass the ball, but with the double team coming like that, what a find by him and what a finish.
Milner Chris able to finish for his first bucket on the night. And we've got a timeout on the floor with 16:51 to go. Back and forth we go here in the first couple of minutes of the second half.
Dropping dimes to the big man. I like it.
There's a look at the interim head coach for the Hilltoppers, Phil Cunningham, as we came on the air. News broke that Hilltopper head coach Rick Stansberry will not be here this weekend after he was running a bit of a fever. He was sent home along with a couple of other Western Kentucky staffers, but has tested negative a few times for COVID this week. So this is just a precautionary measure, and Phil Cunningham will be running the show for the Hilltoppers this weekend as Hollingsworth step back 3 with 3 on the shot clock. Got it to drop.
Yeah, running it very capably. We certainly, thoughts are with Coach Stansbury, and we hope he's doing well. But Coach Cunningham, like we said, been with him a long time, was with him at Mississippi State. They've got a great history together. This is a veteran group. They're not missing a beat. I mean, you always want your general present and your head coach present. I know he's watching right now, probably on the edge of his seat with this game going. But Coach Cunningham's doing an admirable job so far.
Yeah, want to make sure we really drive home the point that it's just all precautionary as Carson Williams count the bucket.
And with the left hand, no less. Notoriously loves to finish with his right. Gets around to the left right there. Hollingsworth's not bad either.
Western Kentucky on top, extending their lead to 11, 47-36. And Darren, Western getting it done. Oh, get off your phones, guys. There's a ball game going on.
Somebody might have Insta-messaged them.
Anyway, Western getting it done at the free throw stripe. 12 of 13 here tonight.
Yeah, it's their identity, and we talked about it and we've teased it a little, but they're a to-the-rim team. Coach Stansbury wants them to make more free throws than your opponent's attempt. It's such an important stat, and it defines your whole identity, both offensively and defensively, because offensively, you've got to be aggressive to the rim. Defensively, you've got to play without fouling. You've got to defend without fouling, and they're doing a good job with it so far tonight.
Mentioned the struggles for Western Kentucky shooting the ball from behind the arc this season, but they've knocked down 7 threes here tonight. That's half their shots. Dishman rejected by Bassey.
If you want to score against a shot blocker, you've got to get into his body with contact so that he can't get up. Shot blockers love space, and you saw there, Dishman, there was space between him and Bassey, and he was able to easily get up and block that shot.
1 on the shot clock for Middle. Stewart and Lawrence got it off in time, can't get it to drop. And cleared by Western, out on the run. Hollingsworth 1-2 step, count the bucket.
Big time move by Hollingsworth right there, getting under the rim and finishing. Jake, you talked about shooting threes. They've got quite a streak going from the three-point line. I think we've got a replay here of Hollingsworth in transition. Yeah, that's a, tough shot. Reverse layup under the rim right there with the contact.
Foul goes against Milner Chris. That's his third. He'll take a seat along with Eli Lawrence. And Davion Hollingsworth will go to the stripe for 1. Hollingsworth now with 11. And he's actually perfect from the floor. 3 for 3. Go along with being 2 for 2 from behind the arc. And now 3 for 3 from the free throw stripe. Schuler going to do it himself, go up with the left hand and count that bucket. Just kidding. Foul will go against Davion Mcknight, his first, and you be the judge.
Yeah, in the NBA, it's an and 1 from continuation. He got him with the body before the shot. Tough call. At home, you want that call. I wanted that call.
First team foul against Western Kentucky as Davis will step into a 3. Too strong. Here comes Anderson. Williams with a spin in the left hand. And that was smoother than Kentucky bourbon right there.
I like him. I just like Williams. Just look at him. All the little hustle plays, gets on the floor. Now he's leading the break.
Bassey with a follow.
Yeah, Coach McDevitt needs a timeout before this gets out of hand anymore. Western Kentucky, what a run to start this second half.
13-0 run over the last 2 minutes, and Western pulling away from Middle here in game number 1 of the weekend doubleheader. 55-36. Western on top, looking for their 5th conference win.
Yeah, and they're doing it the Western way. They're defending without fouling at one end. They're attacking the rim at the other. They're getting to the free throw line, making timely threes, and they've got contributions from everybody.
Mentioned Carson Williams earlier having a big year last season in his junior year. He was 11th in the conference in scoring, averaging 14 points per game. He was 8th in rebounding, 6.5 boards a game last year. He shot 55% from the floor. And this year, you look at his numbers, they're down a little bit, averaging just 6 points per contest. But he really came alive last weekend against Marshall. Season high 16 points, knocked down a few threes on Saturday. And if they can get him going at that 4 spot, this Western Kentucky coaching staff feels like that they're a team to beat, not just in Conference USA, but when the big dance comes around in March.
Yeah, because you have to account for him on the perimeter, which opens it up for one-on-one with Bassi in the paint.
19-point advantage for the Hilltoppers. 13-0 run over the last couple of minutes. Frampton has checked back in.
And again, notice Western Kentucky toes to 3. Very passive defensively. And just as I say that, they foul a shooter.
Schuler fouled on the drive. Goes against Carson Williams, his second. Second team foul against Western Kentucky.
Yeah, good job by Schuler getting in there to the paint. Williams had his hand low with his other hand high. That's a foul. And more so, that's a good take by Middle. If they want to get back into this game, they've got to do it at the free throw line. They've got to do it by attacking the paint. They've got to do it by getting into the rim. And Schuler's going to be a key part of that.
Knocks down the first free throw, 80% free throw shooter this year. And mentioned all the new faces on this Middle Tennessee squad. 8 new faces for Nick McDevitt, this in his 3rd season. Schuler being one of those. With all these new faces, that's about 4,000 career points with all the transfers coming in for Middle Tennessee. And they brought Schuler in, transferred from Charleston Southern to score. Averaged 14.5 points in his 2 seasons at Charleston Southern before finding a home here in Murfreesboro. Bassi on the block, and nice touch.
And again, this year has been a crazy year. When you bring in a lot of new faces, you're used to having all summer with them, all fall to do individual workouts and skill development. And now all of a sudden, you don't get that opportunity. So the growth and the development and getting the team where you want it, it's just not there yet. It's impossible to be there. And then you add days and weeks without your full roster to practice with. An uphill battle for sure right now for the Blue Raiders. But the beautiful thing about it, when tournament time comes, all bets are off. Everybody's got a shot again. So they just need to keep getting better, keep getting healthier, work on the chemistry, and get ready for a run in the tournament.
Lawrence in transition, goes up quick with a left hand. Like he felt Bassi tracking him down, and he got the wild shot to drop.
Yep, into the paint, got a shot at the rim. And I say for the tournament time, there's still plenty more games between now and then, but you just want to take each day by day, each week by week, and don't panic. Keep doing what you're doing.
Yeah, and in contrast to that, Western Kentucky hasn't had a positive test, COVID-related, as Bassi able to finish strong with 2 hands. But yeah, Western Kentucky hasn't had a positive test since July.
Yeah.
Bassi now with 12 points. That's 8 coming here in the first 7.5 minutes of the second half.
You wanted to try to wear him down, and Nick McDevitt wanted to throw bodies and at him, but he sat out half the first half with foul trouble, so he's fresh. And you're seeing a fresh Bassi right now, showing why he's the defending National Player of the Week.
Jace Johnson working on that jumper in the off time, his second 3 tonight. $16-point advantage for Western. Rawls will step into a 3 and a response. Second 3 tonight for Jordan Rawls, the sophomore from Chattanooga.
And again, we hinted at that.
As Schuler is fouled on the 3 by Kenny Cooper. And with 11:57 to go, we will take a break. Western on top. Way back in February of 2019, Western Kentucky became just the 5th team in NCAA history to reach 1,000 straight games with a made three-pointer, and they have kept that train chugging right along. They are now at 1,056 games. They have made 8 threes here tonight, one shy of tying their season high.
Yeah, and they got that streak out of the way early in this game, but that's not the record, right? I mean, that's 4th all time. There's 3 schools that have longer streaks right now, which just speaks to longevity and history of a program to be able to do that night after night after night.
Dontrell Schuler at the line shooting 3 free ones after he was fouled by Kenny Cooper before going to break. And Schuler knocks down all 3. 12 points in the return for Dontrell Schuler. Just above his season average of 11.5 in his first game back since December 16th against Ole Miss when he had 19 points. This Middle Tennessee team has really struggled offensively this season, as Rawls is going to be fouled on his jump shot by Eli Lawrence. Be the 3rd on Lawrence.
Yeah, and Schuler's back gives them a presence defensively as well. And his ball pressure there disrupted what Western was trying to do offensively. But at the end of the day, down 16, under 12 minutes to go, you have to be a little aggressive. You've got to try to really contest some shots, and unfortunately there got a little overzealous and fouled the jump shooter. You never want to foul a jump shooter.
Yeah, typically Middle Tennessee is one of the best defensive teams in terms of guarding the three-point line in the entire country. They rank 7th in three-point field goal percentage allowed. Teams are shooting just 26.5% this season from behind the arc against Middle. But tonight, Western Kentucky, 8 of 16. Jace Johnson let it go again. This one in and out. And a big-time rebound from Bassey. And here comes Jace Johnson in transition, going to take it himself. And a hard no from Charles Bassey.
Yeah, tried to use the rim as another defender to keep Bassey from blocking it. Probably would have been best to just attack it and finish with his right hand, maybe held off with his left. But again, shows you just how talented and what a rim protector Bassey is. Makes it real difficult to score anything easy, not just for Middle Tennessee, any of the opponents that Western Kentucky has faced this year.
His timing is excellent. As the officials are conferring.
Yeah, long arms and size doesn't hurt either. Your timing is impeccable. And
the Middle retains possession with 25 on the shot clock. Schuler's going to pull it and roll it home.
so important to have him back in the lineup for the Blue Raiders. So important to have him on the court.
Second three for Schuler tonight. Came into this game just a 29% three-point shooter. But he's got a couple here against Western. 15-point lead for the Hilltoppers. As this foul is going to go against Jace Johnson on the ball. His third. Fourth team foul against Middle. 20 seconds on the shot clock for Western.
Consecutive stops is what Middle Tennessee is looking for here in the next couple minutes. Can they get consecutive stops?
Cooper wild on the drive and a foul on the rebound. As Anderson hobbling a little bit after the whistle.
Talked about the importance of Western getting to the foul line and Stansbury's emphasis on that. Offensive rebounding just as important. They have a +8 on their opponents this year in rebounding margin. They really do a good job of crashing the glass, and you saw that right there.
And another whistle, this time on the inbounds pass as Josh Anderson went sliding across the hardwood. Devontae Milner just took a seat with his fourth foul.
And just like that, 3 straight possessions, and now Western Kentucky is in the bonus and gets to shoot free throws every foul call the rest of the game.
And now Jace Johnson will sit with 4, as you can see, just kind of ran over Anderson.
It's the elevator screen. Every play in America runs it. A lot of teams call it America's play, but you can't split the middle like that. You've got to go and pick a side and go around it.
Bassey with the hook, unfriendly rim. Ball ping-pongs around and finally wrangled by Western. Frampton, corner three. Money. Frampton puts a cap on a wild possession, and
yeah,
another whistle as Nick McDevitt giving the official an earful.
Yeah,
after a series of fouls against Middle.
Yeah, he's frustrated. I understand. We've all been there, and the officials calmly talking to him. I have no problem with that. But it's the hustle plays at the other end of the floor. Western's winning the hustle plays, and that was a great example right there.
Fouls on Cooper. A transfer from Lipscomb, from Nashville. Scoreless in this one. Scoreless in the last 3 of his 5 appearances. 4th team foul against Western. Davis pull up in the lane, shorts it, but got it to go.
Bassey's to the bench for Western to take a break. Chance for Middle to, again, keep putting pressure on the paint, try to get a couple easies, but they have to get stops.
Carson Williams again will drive, and he will go to the line again for 2. Williams having himself a nice half. 7 points. The foul will go against Tyler Millen, the sophomore from Calera, Alabama. Getting some run here with all the Raiders in foul trouble. Williams hits his first.
And again, Williams usually, he likes that the shot off of that on-ball screen to pop. But this is a well-coached team, and they're smart and they're experienced, and he's a veteran player, and he says, I know I can get free throws if I attack the rim. And so he put his head down, drove hard to the rim, and he's rewarded with 2 foul shots.
Got the shooter's roll on the second, as Western is now 18 of 19 from the charity stripe.
Have made 18 free throws to Middle 6.
Davis gets it to drop. Back-to-back buckets for Jordan Davis. 6 second-half points. Lead back to 16 for Western. Frampton again for 3. Didn't even hesitate. Schuler pushing. 1-2 step.
Count that basket. Yep, great take by Schuler.
And Dontrell Schuler having himself a second half.
The hesitation dribble, got to his left side, finished with his right. Tough shot through contact.
3rd foul against Kenny Cooper. And the 5th team foul against Western Kentucky, as Dontrell Schuler will head to the line to try and complete the 3-point play.
$17 points, no rust on him coming back after such a long layoff. It's great to see, and it's great for Middle. You know, great to have him back in the lineup and on the floor. He's such a big part of what they want to do offensively and defensively.
12 second-half points for Schuler, who now has 18. Very efficient, 5 of 8 from the floor.
Middle picking up the pressure, extending a little bit.
And Anderson cupped it on the dribble. And that'll be a turnover against Western Kentucky. 14th turnover for the Hilltoppers tonight. $15 on the shot clock for Schuler. And a foul on Frampton, as the Blue Raiders sideline giving a bit of a Bronx cheer to the officiating crew on that foul. First foul against Frampton, and the 16th foul against Western.
And free throws the rest of the way for Middle also. Can't tell you how important that is.
Shot clock gets reset to 20 seconds. Davis, Millen, Lawrence, Coleman, Jones, and Schuler, the 5 on the floor for Nick McDevitt's Raiders. Anderson, Hollingsworth, Frampton, McKnight, and Williams for Western. Unfriendly rims for Coleman Jones on the home end.
Yeah, last time he passed that out to the corner 3. This time he took the shot. It was the right shot. It was the right read. Just needs to finish that. Unfriendly rim here in the glass house for the Blue Raiders.
McKnight doing a little too much on the dribble, loose ball. And officials are going to say that's a kick ball, and it'll stay with the Toppers.
Yeah, I think Millen instinctively put his foot out, and the ball hit it in a good call, but hustle plays down the stretch. There you go, yeah. Hustle plays down the stretch are going to get Middle back into this basketball game, and there's no quit in them. You know, they play hard, they compete, and they're competing right now against, again, the team picked to win the Conference USA.
Yeah, this is the 3rd straight season that the Toppers have been the Conference USA coaches pick to win Conference USA. Hollingsworth in traffic, gets it to fall. Tough shot from Davion Hollingsworth. More than 4,000 minutes he has spent wearing Western Kentucky threads. That's longer than any other Hilltopper in Western Kentucky history. And his Toppers are on top 71-56 against their arch rival on the road. Stay with us on ESPN+. Western Kentucky on top 71-56 here in game 1 of our weekend doubleheader. In the oldest rivalry in Conference USA, 100 miles of hate. And Darren, Big Blue in some big-time foul trouble.
Yeah, Middle hating the foul trouble that they're in right now. But at this point of the game, it really doesn't matter. You've got to play your players regardless, because you've got to try to chip away at this. But can't say enough about Western's identity and their effort. And it's a concerted effort to attack the rim and to put their opponents in foul trouble.
Western really coming alive here in this second half, extending their lead to 15 points. And it's the old guard for the Hilltoppers that have come alive here in the second half. Bassey, Williams, and Hollingsworth, as Western is shooting 70% here in the second half.
Yeah, that's a lot of experience you just listed right there.
Bassey surrounded by Blue Raiders, can't get the hook to drop as Coleman Jones takes a tumble.
Anderson's going to get called for that foul, crashing in for the boards and ended up knocking down. Looks like it was Coleman Jones knocked down. Good job by Coleman Jones going to get that board, but again, Western doing the little things, crashing the boards. I haven't looked at the rebounding numbers.
First foul on Anderson, and that's the 7th team foul against Western. Both teams are now in the bonus the rest of the way with 17 fouls apiece. As Coleman Jones had to fix his sneaker before heading to the line. .63% free throw shooter on the season. Mentioned that he's missed about a month of time. Last weekend was his first action since the Ole Miss game on December 16th. Transfer from Northwestern a season ago. Knocks down both.
Yeah, important for the Blue Raiders to have him healthy and able to give them quality minutes.
Yeah, and because he was allowed to transfer last year, he still has 3 years of eligibility left, including this year, as an unforced error as Anderson overshot the much smaller Davion Hollingsworth.
Unforced error because of the 2-3 zone that Middle just shifted to. I wondered if we would see that. We saw it for a possession in the first half. Frampton hit a 3, or 2 possessions in the first half. good job switching up the tempo. I like the call. I wasn't sure if, because they've hit 9 threes, if coach would be scared to go to it, but I loved it. I'm glad he did that. That was a good call.
Western Kentucky now has 5 players in double figures. Frampton leading the way off the bench with 14.
We'll see if it was a one-time deal or if they'll stay in it.
Hollingsworth off, or excuse me, Anderson off the steal, floats and finishes. Josh Anderson is a walking highlight film. Jace Johnson rejected by Anderson.
Couldn't have set that up any better, Jake.
Anderson grimacing on the other end of the floor, came down wrong after the block. I mean, the guy's been on the SportsCenter top 10, what, like 6 times in the last few years?
Yeah, 1,000-point score.
Williams on the drive in traffic will draw the foul. And we'll go to the line again for the 4th time tonight.
Yep, and there he is. Getting it done at both ends of the floor, Josh Anderson.
First foul against Coleman Jones, 8th against Middle. As Williams misses just the 2nd free throw tonight for Western Kentucky. They are now 18 of 20. Here's a look at Phil Cunningham, the interim head coach for Western Kentucky. In case you're just joining us, Rick Stansberry not with the team. Running a bit of a fever today, so sent home along with a couple of other staffers. Did test negative a couple of times, 3 times earlier this week, so just taken as a precautionary measure. Have some issues with some moisture on the floor after the free throw.
Coach Stansbury, though, has to be pleased with what he's seen so far from his team, executing their game plan to a T so far in this contest.
Get another look at the missed free throw, and official on the baseline calling timeout. And the Tau guys getting some major work at both ends today.
I like it, and getting some TV time too.
That's right.
Much deserved.
Turn around and say hi.
Yeah.
Oh, we've got the whole crew out here now.
Yeah, must be maybe a little blood. That'll force the stoppage of play, and they'll bring out the bleach, the chemical, to lift it real quick and wipe it off. So
6:03 to go. Western on top, 73-58. I'm Jake Rose alongside Darren Hart for the 139th iteration of 100 Miles of Hate. This rivalry dates all the way back to 1914. Middle has played really well the last dozen or so years. They've won 13 of the last 17. Dropped their last 2. And all-time Western leads the series 95-43. But Darren, you've been a part of this rivalry many times before. What is that rivalry like from a coaching standpoint or a recruiting standpoint? Because you guys are probably looking at a lot of the same players.
Well, yeah, it's intense. It's everything that you would think it is, and both coaches have the utmost respect for each other's programs. You have the utmost respect for what they've done and how they do it on the floor. But when the ball goes up, it's no holds barred. You want to beat, if you're Middle Tennessee, you want to beat Western Kentucky more than any other team on your schedule. And if you're Western Kentucky, the same holds true.
Here's a look at Western Kentucky's upcoming schedule. They play tomorrow for the back end of this weekend doubleheader at 1 o'clock. That game's on CBS Sports Network. And then the weekend after that, a huge series at home against Old Dominion, who they are currently tied with for first place in the Eastern Division in Conference USA. But Old Dominion stagnant this weekend due to some COVID issues. So this is a big weekend for Western Kentucky to take sole possession of that first place spot.
They're all big weekends. Anytime you get a chance to tip it up with everything that's going on this year.
Offensive foul on the Davis drive. Looks like a moving screen is going against DeAndre Dishman. Second for Dishman.
Yeah, he set kind of a rub screen like you see in football, where he just started kind of rubbing. And sometimes when you're the ball handler, if you start your dribble before the screener gets set, it makes for an easy call. So that's a tough call right there.
McKnight on the drive, loses it, and Anderson gets on the floor for it. Middle comes up with it. Davis kicks it to the corner for Schuler for three. And Bassey comes away with it. Now Bassey gonna bring it up, all 6'11" of it.
Everybody wants to be a guard.
Reminds me of Shaq in the All-Star game. Dribbling between his legs, staring down Allen Iverson.
Great hands by Schuler right there. Very, very active defensively. Coach McDevitt talks about him a lot. He's so good defending the ball because his hands are so good, and he just puts constant pressure on you as a ball handler, and saw that right there.
Yeah, Middle's perimeter defense has been fantastic this season. One of the best three-point shooting defenses in the country, best in the conference. And you got to think that's only going to get better with Schuler back in the lineup. Nice high-low action from Middle.
Great job. Saw the mismatch. Milner Chris just went ahead and sealed and did a really nice job of holding his seal until the ball crossed the plane of his head so he could just get a nice catch, and that's an easy basket right there. Really nice offense.
DeAndre Dishman showing a little bit of touch on the high-low pass, and then immediately picks up a foul against Bassey on the other end.
Bassey just got lower and wider and just posted up, and Dishman couldn't get around him. In battling to try to get around him, he went ahead and committed the foul, which wasn't a bad foul ultimately, because that paint catch right there, that was going to be a dunk anyway. If Bassey can get paint touches like that inside that arc, he's unstoppable. So if you're defending him and if you're trying to put together a game plan to slow him down, as you can see him working right there, he gets him on his back and just buries him. That's what you teach your bigs to do. That's a great replay by there. Great job by our crew today, getting that replay up and showing us how dominant he is when he gets the ball that deep in the paint.
Splits the pair at the line, and to kind of reiterate what you were talking about with his footwork and his big man ability, that's almost a lost art in today's game, where everything is played from perimeter in, as Schuler will put up another three, and Bassey gets another board, and that's going to be his 10th, and that's another double-double for Charles Bassey.
Yeah, Lagos, Nigeria. There was another player that had pretty good feet from Nigeria that went on and had a pretty nice career in the NBA, wasn't there, Jake?
Yes, there was. But I'm going to let you tell me who it was, because I'm trying to think. I've got two people in mind, and I don't want to think that one of them is from the wrong country.
Yeah.
We'll talk about it at the break, and then we'll see if I'm right or not.
We'll tease you. Here's your chance. Get your phone. Look it up real quick.
3:47 to go. Western on top by 14. Welcome back to the Glass House, and there's a look at the very balanced scoring from Western Kentucky tonight. 5 players in double figures, led by Luke Frampton off the bench. And if you are playing the home game with us, name the big man other than Charles Bassey from Nigeria with great footwork, and you said Hakeem Olajuwon, you would be correct.
You would be correct. Tell them what they won, Jake.
You get to listen to us for the next 3 minutes and 45 seconds. For very many people just rolled their eyes, but that's all right. That ball swatted out of bounds.
My mother didn't. My mother's ecstatic right now. She gets
right.
3.5 more minutes of listening.
My mother as well.
5 players in double figures. Western Kentucky averages 4 on the season, with Frampton at 7 points a game, but just balanced scoring again. Western Kentucky came in today, and they've been Western Kentucky. They've done what they've done.
This is a team that has balanced scoring every night. You mentioned 4 players averaging in double figures, but they don't share the ball as much. Their assist to turnover ratio is one of the worst in conference, just 10 assists tonight. but still a 12-point lead on the road.
They have more of an NBA style of play where there's a lot of isolations, a lot of one-on-one, obviously a lot of post touches, and when Bassey gets the ball, he's got 11 assists now on the season with 1 today. So that's not their identity. That's not who they are. They pound it at you, and it's very effective for Coach Stansbury. Obviously, they've won a lot of games doing it.
Second foul against Jordan Davis, who just scored on the other end, and Davion Mcknight, freshman from Shelbyville, Kentucky, splits the pair at the line. 3 points tonight for Davion. The 2020 Kentucky Mr. Basketball Award winner a year ago. Started the last 5 games. And anytime you've got a freshman that can play serious minutes.
Western Kentucky going to a 2-3 zone.
That's right.
Only done that about 20 possessions this season so far, so that's interesting.
Schuler loses his edge and will turn it over. But anytime you have a freshman that can play serious minutes like Davion Mcknight has and play with upperclassmen as well as he has, you got to think that's going to bode very well for the future.
I think the future's bright. I like him as a player. I was very impressed watching him on film. Like you said, Mr. Basketball in Kentucky, 21 points in his college debut. Physical, good size, good strength for a guard, handles it well.
Bassey for 3, all net.
And he does that. It sounds crazy, but that's not unusual. He's just good enough shooting the 3 from the trail spot like that to keep you honest.
.28% three-point shooter is Bassey on the season, as Eli Lawrence is all net on the jumper in the lane. You've got to think Charles Bassey, even though he is a more traditional post player, is going to get some serious looks at the next level just because of his ability to move and be that size, as Carson Williams will go to the line again.
Yeah, and he has a knack for finding the ball. You see him pursuing those rebounds, and he gets out of area rebounds. Watch him here come get the ball off the glass to tip it back in. Rodman-like. I mean, he's got a little bit of that ability to rebound. And if you can get yourself a niche, if you can be known for something, if you can be a shot blocker and a rebounder, there's a place for you on the floor at the professional level somewhere, somehow.
Williams knocks down another free throw. 14 points on the night for Williams.
So many players want to be the scorer or want to have the ball in their hands all the time. That's what makes basketball such a beautiful team game. You've got 5 players on the floor that all should be able to do something different. And if you can find that niche as a young player, if you can find that niche where you could bring something to your team that nobody else has, you'll be successful.
Under 2 minutes to go here in this one. Western Kentucky on top 16, 80-64. Looking to pick up win number 12 on the season and number 5 in the conference. A win will put them in sole possession of first place in the Eastern Division in Conference USA, ahead of Old Dominion, who is off this weekend, as Hollingsworth meticulously working his way into the paint and draws another foul.
Yeah, the difference in these two programs right now, especially when you're down, Middle Tennessee, every drive that Western is attempting, they're trying to block shots. You look at the other end, as with the exception of Bassey, all the other Western players, when middle drives, their hands are to the ceiling. They're trying to stay off the foul. It goes back to Coach Stansbury's philosophy and identity. We're going to make more free throws than our opponents attempt. And they've done that tonight by a big margin, Jake, a big margin.
29 free throws attempted tonight by Western Kentucky compared to just 10 for Middle. And Western Kentucky's knocked down 24 of those free throws. Hollingsworth now with 15.
Free throws, 3 points, 24 free points tonight.
Jackson shorts the fadeaway. And we are under 60 seconds in this one.
And even with this game being decided, again, a quick turnaround tomorrow, you could have a totally different outcome based on how these teams prepare tonight, who comes back with more energy.
Yeah, we saw that against FIU a couple of weeks ago when we did those games, when Middle picked up their first win in the conference season. Well, looked like a completely different team.
Yeah, and Western Kentucky last week against Marshall had the big win the first night. I believe that was at Western Kentucky. Then they traveled to Huntington, if I'm not mistaken, and had a dogfight. And it was a real close game. So tune in tomorrow. We won't have the game, but we'll go ahead and allow you guys to tune in and watch anyway.
Under 30 to go in this one. Middle will fall to 3-8 and 1-4 in conference.
And at the conclusion of this, you can switch over on ESPN Plus, I believe, and catch the Middle Tennessee women playing at Western Kentucky tonight.
Right, Jace Johnson knocks down his third three on the night.
Middle, the Lady Raiders going for the sweep up there at Western Kentucky. Good luck to Coach Insel.
And that will do it here in Murfreesboro. Western Kentucky picks up a big win against their arch rival. Win number 96 in the series as they knock off Middle Tennessee 82-67. A very balanced scoring attack for the Hilltoppers. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 players in double figures tonight for Western Kentucky.
No time to celebrate, though. They've got to get back to work, get rested, and get ready to do this again tomorrow. And for Middle, they've got to do the same thing.
Charles Bassey led the way with 16 points and 12 boards, his 10th double-double on the season, and it was Luke Frampton playing a little string music behind the arc for the Hilltoppers as the Hilltoppers get the win. So for Darren Park, I'm Jake Rose saying so long from the Murphy Center, where the final score tonight is Western Kentucky 82, Middle Tennessee 67. All games airing on the ESPN networks are streaming live and archived on the ESPN app. This has been a presentation of ESPN from Murfreesboro. So long, everybody.